Roisin, and I actually have a question first. I have two stories, but they're kind of related. Is that okay? Okay. So I went to high school in the Village, downtown in Manhattan, and that means I took the 1 train and the A train every single day for 4 years. So I was bound to obviously get a few stories from it. And I'm going to tell you my favorite homeless person and my, I guess you could say most interesting homeless person. I'll say my favorite first. So it was the day after high school. It was my sophomore year. We had our last day of classes, but I had to go back in to help out with something on a committee that I was on. So I take the 1 train down to 168th, and then I get on the A train because that's the closest stop to my school. And the A train's known for having the best homeless people, so I obviously saw my favorite on the A train. So I sat down and this guy comes on, and after taking the train for a while, you kind of have this, I guess you can call it a skill of recognizing bums right away. And you usually have your headphones in, you either press pause to hear if they're funny or interesting, but if they try to get money off you, you can just pretend you can't hear them. So I'm sitting there and this guy comes on and he has this huge, huge suitcase. So he comes on and he sits down, and he's this old black guy, and he has really, really scruffy, but the thing about him, he just seems so happy. He literally has the biggest smile on his face that I've ever seen anyone have. And he sits down and he keeps on looking at everybody, trying to catch everyone's eye, and just keeps smiling at everyone, not saying a single word. And he pulls out this pad out of his suitcase and this box, and he looks at this woman sitting across from him. I was sitting diagonally from him so I could see both people. And he just starts smiling at her, and the woman can see this, and she's with her friend trying to nonchalantly act like she can't tell, but it's obvious that she can't. And he just starts drawing her. And he takes out, and he has all these different types of shading things. I guess, I don't know, I'm not an artist. But, so the woman sitting there, she knows she's getting drawn, but she's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to sit there and smile for the guy? But she keeps on talking to her friend. And when he's done this picture, he just takes it and shows it to her. And it was absolutely amazing. It was so good. She just looked so beautiful and just captured the best parts of her face. And he didn't say a word, just walked over and handed it to her. And then just sat back down. And that was at 34th Street, and I get off at 14th. So, and he sat back down and he smiles at me, and obviously I'm a little heartthrob, so I'm thinking this is the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my life. And then he sits down and he starts to draw me, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not going to get the picture because I have to get off in 2 stops. So I get up and he's drawing me. He's starting out drawing me, so I have $5 in my purse. So I walk up and I'm saying, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't wait. And I give it to him. And he's like, oh no, I'm so sorry, do you want this? And it's a face with a T on it, I guess, I don't know. I'm like, no, you can keep it, sorry. And so that was my favorite homeless person. And now for my most interesting homeless person. So there was a couple of girls from the neighborhood. I went to an all-girls school. There were a couple of girls from my neighborhood that took the train with me. So it was me and my best friend, Erin. And you've all been on the 1 train, right? It's you have the 2-seaters, and then you have the long middles, and then the 4-seater at the end. And the same thing across. So we were sitting in the middle because the train was kind of crowded. This is 7 o'clock in the morning. So we go down, and I think we're at 157th, I think. And this homeless guy goes on the train. You could tell he's homeless right away. And he's this really tall, scruffy guy, and so all of us who go to the school all click our iPods on pause and see if he's going to be any interesting or not. And he starts screaming at the top of his lungs, literally at the top of his lungs. I think it was in French or something. I have no idea what it was. He starts running around, banging on all the windows, banging on the doors, going in the middle and shaking the poles. And some people are like, oh my god, what is going on? And he goes up to people and he's yelling in their face. And we're all sitting there some people are laughing, some people are giggling, some people are just pretending to go to sleep. And so it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and this guy who's crazy yelling just stands up and drops his pants. Completely drops his pants. So it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and there's this obscene scene on the 1 train. And people are freaking out, some people are laughing hysterically. And obviously me, we're like sophomores in high school, we think this is so funny, but we're like kind of scared to laugh because you don't know what this crazy guy's gonna do. So he keeps on yelling, pulls up his pants, and he walks through, you know, you can walk through the doors? So he walks through the doors, and some people start laughing, some people, oh my God, that's so ridiculous, and all this stuff. I thought it was one of the funniest things in the world. But there was 2 little freshmen from my neighborhood that go to my high school, sitting in the 2-seater right by the door that he left through. So we're sitting there, and it's like 2 minutes after. Train kept on going. He comes back in, and right in front of them, drops his pants. So he's like an arm's length, I'd say, away from their faces. Turns around and starts shaking in front of them. And the girls get up, and one of them runs out of the train because she just can't do it. And the other one's like, oh, what's going on? So we tell her to come over, so she comes, sits by us, and it's 18th Street, which was right before our stop, so we just got off the train, and we all waited for the next one. And that was my most interesting homeless person.